Welcome to this week in the world of wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary, Ashton, and this is our NXT review. And all I gotta say is, NXT, you are back on track. This was a very fun episode of NXT. This is what NXT has been lacking for 2 weeks now. And I'm just glad to see that NXT can still step up to the plate when it really needs to. We got some quality matches, some nice teases for potentially future feuds, and currently, existing feuds. Some nice build for them as well. Some contenders were established, and a rivalry was renewed in full. So overall, yeah, a very fulfilling episode of NXT. Partner, what'd you think of it?
Oh, absolutely. It was solid, man.
Yeah, I loved it, dude. It was great. So with that said, let's just get right into our first segment. Heat of the night. I've got 0 heats tonight, and I don't even have any nitpicks, which surprised even me, because I thought I might have one given the main event we got tonight, but it was well done. So what about you, Ashton?
I'm right there with you.
That's wonderful. So with that, let's get the ball rolling.
I have a hit of the night because they need to give Ty Dillinger something more.
Right, though?
But seriously, though, they need to give him something, but that's not a hit tonight. So.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit when we get there, but for now, let's roll right on through to our NXT review. And partner, how do we open this baby up?
How do you think?
With Finn Balor.
Freaking! You forgot the freaking.
Oh, you're right. Finn freaking Balor. Are we better?
Much.
Are we good? Yes. Okay. So Finn Balor taking on Ty Dillinger. So.
Again.
Yep.
Why do you keep forgetting the freaking?
Well, he really didn't deserve it though. He got destroyed.
I forgot the freaking between Finn Balor.
Oh, that. Well, I thought I only had to do it one time. Forget it. Anyway.
That's his name.
Anyway, yeah, this is pretty much an exhibition match as far as I was concerned. Yeah. Like, if you weren't familiar with Finn Balor, yeah. Ty Dillinger was the perfect kind of opponent for him to just get all of his shit in and show you what he's capable of.
Yep.
Yeah, fun endeavor, but the finishing sequence, sling blade, corner drop kick, coup de grace, the end.
Coup de Gracie.
Coup de Gracie. Oh, man. So, yeah, Finn Balor rolls on, but we got a nice little teaser at the end because as he's, walking, to the back, Tyler Breeze interrupts. And I think what makes Tyler Breeze work, even when he, I guess isn't trying to be overly comical and is trying to be, take it seriously, I feel like he was really laying down the gauntlet to Finn there, just his tone and everything, how he presents indignance is just so hilarious. Yeah. Oh, yeah, everybody look at Finn. Finn's so impressive. You're just a flavor of the month.
He's
so
just
good.
So Zoolander. It's ridiculous.
I know, right?
It's funny because, the impression that you just did of him almost reminds me of, Ben Stiller's character from Dodgeball, A True Underdog Story, but
yes.
Most of the time he reminds me of Zoolander.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. But yeah, Tyler Breeze pretty much saying that, I'm going to show you, what a real star looks like, in Tyler Breeze. The guy that's been dominating NXT, he says, and then he makes his trademark duck face, and that's it. And what I like about this is that Tyler Breeze actually does have legitimate momentum. He has been on a roll lately. I was hoping the next pit stop, thanks to this guy over here, was Kevin Owens. But, if Finn Balor's going to be our detour, considering that Finn Balor was the last contender, I am actually all for it, especially if, Tyler Breeze does get the win somewhere down the line in this feud. What do you think about it, Ashton? I'm curious to know your thoughts.
I don't even know what to think at this point, just because, this is the kind of feud that almost feels like they're just kind of, treading water.
So you're cautiously optimistic, maybe? Or?
No, it's just one of those, it's just there. There's nothing about this feud that gets me overly excited. But because I feel like these guys are both, it's weird because I want everybody to be main eventers, but because it's just such a crowded main event scene.
Right, right.
But at the same time, like, these two guys are main eventers, and now they're going against each other. But it just feels like, it almost feels like Finn Balor is getting a downgrade, because he was just going against Kevin Owens, and they had a great competitive match, and now he goes down to Tyler Breeze, whereas with Tyler Breeze, I guess, you know what'll make me care about this feud is if it leads to a number one contenders match.
You know what? I completely agree with you. It's kind of like that issue you were having a little bit with the Best of 5 series on Lucha Underground between Aerostar and Drago.
Yeah.
A bit of a different context, sure, but I think it comes down to the same thing. You don't want these guys, being the high caliber that they are, to fight for no reason.
Yep.
And Tyler Breeze just thinking that Finn Balor's another Ugo is a really flimsy reason to me. They need something more substantive. So I completely agree with you. Number one contendership hanging in the air, I think, is an ideal situation for these guys. And honestly, as much as I love Finn, let's give Tyler Breeze the W and let's finally get this dream match off our backs, because you made me wanted something fierce. So let's get to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else you want to say about this?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that the match itself was a formality. It was just really kind of trying to get to the Tyler Breeze post-match promo.
Right.
It's like, oh, let's just have Finn Balor go out there and squash someone so that we can have Tyler Breeze come on and introduce this new feud that everyone's about to get about.
Exactly.
So, but for what it's worth, Tyler Breeze always golden on the mic, but afterwards, we got the exact opposite of golden on the mic. We got Dana Brooke.
Was I the only one irked by this promo?
I think that a better question would be, was there anyone not irked by this promo?
Yes, because, and you know what? Maybe it's so weird how these things work out, because I know she's a heel, yet her match was legitimately bad, and yet her line about, her arrival being the rebirth of the division just made me cringe so hard.
Yeah, nobody wants the division to be reborn. It's freaking awesome the way it is.
Sasha Banks is champion. You can't get any more perfect than that, NXT.
Right?
Don't try and tell me otherwise, you jack-offs.
I know.
Yeah, Dana Brooke is pretty much just like, there's been nobody, more beautiful, more defiant, and certainly, not the strongest like I am in this division. And I'm just like, you know what?
I mean, I'll concede that she might be the strongest in the division, but, I mean, you would freaking hope so, considering she's got a freaking weightlifting background, a bodybuilding background.
And she flaunts her muscles every 5 seconds, and I thought, Becky Lynch's hair flips were obnoxious.
Yeah, she's the female masterpiece. Or so she wishes.
I mean, here's the thing. For me, maybe it was a bit of hyperbole to just say, this promo was trash. I just think the matter was the match last week was legitimately bad. Yep. And I guess just hearing that promo and then just going and saying, like, I'm the cause of the rebirth of division, even though she is a heel, and of course she's just trying to get that heat, which I understand, just made me cringe. I'm like, no, girl, you're not even close. Like, Eva Marie is doing better than you are, just putting out training videos. I'm not even kidding about that. So, yeah, get to work. Put the time in. It still kind of makes me cringe a little bit that they're still putting her TV, especially like a week after her debut. Yeah. Because it just tells me, okay, they're not.
Yeah, like, really? Back. Like 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, that roster rotation, though. So, yeah, the discomfort is so real. Yeah. What came after this, bud?
Nothing anywhere close to as uncomfortable.
That's fantastic. Wasn't our triple
Actually, we continue the polarizing trip because we started with something amazing, then we went to that, and then we went right back to something amazing. So it was like a crap sandwich with absolutely amazing bread.
That's wonderful. Bread's awesome. Yeah. Something.
Bayley versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the number one contendership for the Women's Championship.
And this is what I mean.
Take a seat, Dana Brooke. You'll learn something.
Yeah, first of all, excellent point. Duly noted. Second of all, this is what I meant.
You should note it a little more than just duly.
Assertively noted.
Thank you.
Look at us. This is what I meant when I said in my opening, NXT is back on track. Because their women have become such a staple to the product. I think such a core part of their identity. I even remember one columnist wrote about them. The reason why NXT works is because they give their women time and they actually go to work. And this is just an exemplary model of that, was this 3-way. I really loved it too, because in the beginning you had the baby faces in Bayley and Charlotte working over Becky Lynch, kind of going back and forth with her. But then Becky Lynch would try and fight back. But then, soon it just got isolated to Charlotte and Bayley, and they just had to go back and forth. But then the match really started to develop an interesting element when Becky Lynch started working over Bayley's leg. She has a history of doing that in her matches with Bayley, so I'm glad that she kept that up. She was able to get her submission in at one point, but Bayley didn't tap, but she was really worn down. And then when all three of them were just really going at it, we got some really cool spots in this match, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, were there any spots that you really wanted to talk about aside from the finish? Because that's kind of the biggest thing for me. I mean, there was one spot that looked like it was going to be a Tower of Doom, but just ended up being a power bomb. That was really cool.
Yeah, there was the powerbomb, and then there was the kind of doomsday device a little bit with Bayley going off the top.
The flying uppercut.
Yeah, but I mean, you're absolutely right. The finish is the big deal here because Charlotte ends up getting Bayley at one point in the figure 8.
Which, for those of you that don't know, the figure 8 is the figure 4 leg lock, but she puts it up into a bridge, and it looks, well, I wish I could say it looks painful, but it just looks neat. It doesn't really look painful at all.
I think it really just comes down to, I think we've said this before, who's selling it, and I got to give Bayley credit. She really did sell the pain quite well.
Yeah.
And then Becky Lynch just kind of slinks over, drapes the arm on Bayley, and gets the 3 count. So Becky Lynch couldn't even believe that she won. And I figured she was going to get this win, and I'm guessing you probably did too, considering it was only a few weeks ago that Becky Lynch cut that promo saying that she hasn't gotten her chance ever since, the Fatal 4-Way. She's been kind of in the background, and this is NXT. So,
oh, yeah. Yeah, freaking right it is.
And Ashton, I think you had the best commentary because, as our viewers know, you and I kind of have a running dialogue with each other while we're watching the programs, before we review them. I think you had the best sentiment about this matchup. Everybody was protected. Nobody looked really stupid or bad in this match. You can't really blame Charlotte because she probably thought that she got the win initially when the bell rang. She was just cranking that submission. Bayley looks like she has the heart of a lion who just got caught. Because she did not tap out, but I mean, the pain was so excruciating. How could you expect her to kick out and try and break the submission at the same time? And Becky Lynch looks like the most intelligent woman in the room because what a freaking opportunist.
Yep.
So great stuff.
Yep.
Now let me ask you something real quick before we shift discussions. I mean, I want to stay on this a little bit longer. What do you think about the prospect of a Becky Lynch Sasha Banks matchup? You think these two women can deliver?
Well, I mean, obviously they can deliver. It's sort of just a matter of when it happens, because I don't know when it's going to happen. Hopefully it's at the next live special, which I'm looking forward to because we haven't had one since February. We kind of got spoiled there. We had boom December, and then right away, boom, right there February, 2 months later. And it's going on 3 months now, and it's been sort of a really disjointed season, I guess you could call it, if you want to talk about in between each live special as its own little season. It's been a really disjointed season because of WrestleMania and all of the happenings that went on there, and the fact that they taped so far in advance and threw in the Arnold Classic and all this other random stuff that happened around WrestleMania season that just kind of threw everything off. I'm looking forward to the next live special and kind of being able to settle back into a normal NXT kind of groove.
Definitely. I mean, the next live special, from what I understand, is May 20th, so It's less than a month. And, I mean, we did get a little bit of an interaction, which we'll talk about, later when we get to it, between Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks, and I like that, and I want to see more of that. So I'm hoping that this match takes place in the next live special so we can give these women, because it's probably just going to be Becky Lynch getting her one-on-one match, because that makes the most sense, and she certainly deserves it after that performance. So I really want them to really hype it up, because it's going to be these two kind of carrying that thing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, what came after this, bro?
After that, we had our third match of the night, CJ Parker versus Hideo Itami.
Yeah, and again, not really much to say here. I mean, Hideo just continues to be on his roll. I mean, he is just vicious. Those kicks and just those body shots, whether it's with his elbows or forearms or whatever, he's a striking machine, and it's just beautiful to watch. And yeah, he pretty much dominated CJ Parker here. He ends up getting the win with the shotgun kick. And yeah, I mean, Hideo rolls on. I don't really know what's next for him after losing this huge title breeze, because I mean, obviously it wouldn't make sense, to get him in that NXT title picture. We just kind of had a discussion how we hope that Tyler Breeze and Finn Balor kind of dominate it in their feud. But honestly, I mean, we can kill two birds with one stone. I'd like to see Hideo Itami in a feud with Baron Corbin. Let's find a way to get those two in a ring together somehow.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it would get Baron Corbin away from just squashing jobbers, which is starting to wear on me and get old. It may even turn him heel, but hell, like, I could certainly buy it, and I think so could the crowd. And hell, that one promo he cut was certainly heelish about how he was going to just, bring everybody into extinction and whatnot. So he could certainly pull that off. And Hideo, he's a killer, so him toppling somebody like Baron Corbin, would make him look great. So yeah, I think that's a feud I would want for Hideo if we can somehow, logically make it work.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know. Baron Corbin being in anything that isn't squashing jobbers every week would be more interesting than what's going on right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely, completely agree. So I'm just looking for something for both guys to do, because Hideo, I'm not saying like Hideo's lost. It's a curious thing.
Well, I mean, shoot, man, if Sami Zayn's going to be going after Kevin Owens, I'd kind of take issue with that if I was Hideo Itami. Sami Zayn was off doing whatever. He wasn't around, and Hideo Itami has kind of worked his way to the top of the mountain in the time that Sami Zayn's been out.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm Hideo Itami, I'm trying to kind of insert myself into that title match.
I mean, and you certainly have a point. I mean, if Rhyno can have a qualm with the likes of Finn Balor and Sami Zayn and have a match with Sami Zayn, I don't see why Hideo Itami couldn't have a match with Sami Zayn in the meantime. And just say exactly what you just said. Maybe
that match happened last week, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So, I totally get what you're saying there. I would actually find it interesting if maybe Sami Zayn, given the events that happened tonight, if like a week later he's having a backstage interview with Devin talking about it, and, Hideo just cuts him off and they just have words. I think that could be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, up next, we had... Oh, and by the way, this was CJ Parker's last appearance on NXT.
Yeah, which Ashton brilliantly noted apparently, fell on Earth Day, so it's just too perfect.
I mean, he even had the sign that said, today is... And then he had the word Earth crossed out, day.
Yeah.
So, every day should be Earth Day, John.
I mean, yeah, that's how CJ Parker, I guess, got fed up and really wanted to do something else, because when he turns his back on the Earth, holy crap.
No, he crossed out the Earth because he was trying to say that every day should be Earth Day, because there shouldn't have to be an Earth Day. Every day should be.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, 'cause last week, and the only reason I say what I did, because last week they made it seem like whatever he crossed out of the sign that was, like, eco-related, he put in a more egoistic term, like my or me or something like that. So I thought, like, commentary was making the point, he's not caring so much about the Earth, he's caring more about himself. He's tired of being treated the way he is. So that's why I got that idea, but yeah, good catch.
That's kind of what I understood it as. Anyway, up next we had probably my favorite segment of the night, actually. A backstage promo between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. They're in the locker room. And Sasha kind of walks up and she's like, oh, look at you, #1 contender. It's just a shame that you don't stand a chance against me.
And then Becky Lynch just kind of laughs it off and says, oh, really? That, and she says whatever color. I couldn't really understand.
Silver. She said silver's not your color. It looks disgusting on you.
It looks disgusting on you, yeah.
And Sasha's just like, disgusted? Disgusted? Really?
and then Becky kind of makes the belt motion, with her waist and saying, it's going to be hers soon. Yeah, it's going to look good on me. And then Sasha's like, I made you, Becky. And Becky's like, oh, no, I made me. And, it's really getting heated. And he said, I don't know if you saw Sasha, but I'm kind of a big deal. And Sasha's like, oh, yeah? Well, I'm the NXT Women's Champion. And that's a big deal. And, I mean, the claws were coming out.
I loved this, dude. This was so good. And this really made me appreciate Becky more. I mean, I love Sasha. That's not going to change anytime soon, but this definitely made me gain a new appreciation for Becky Lynch as a talker.
Well, I mean, to be fair to us, I feel like we've always, I mean, even promo-wise from that one other promo that we said, like, from Becky Lynch was just really good. It's just her little mannerisms that we've always said consistently, like, needs work. Because other than that, she's a very well-rounded performer. And it's instances like this that make me say, I hope that their match is at the next live special, because I want to see more of this, man. This is interesting stuff. But before I move on to the next segment, I just want to ask you, did the Kevin Owens promo, I thought that happened before all this, or is that coming up?
I must have missed the Kevin Owens promo.
Oh, God, dude, he is such a great douche. He's just, because Devin Taylor's talking to him, like, how do you feel about your match with Alex Riley tonight? And he's just kind of looking around, he's like, there's a chill in here. You feel that? You feel that draft? And Devin's like, no. And he's like, what were you asking? And he's like, how do you feel about Alex Riley? And he's just like, well, I don't really say this much, but, I respect it. He took a beating, and he came back for more. But I'm going to beat him again. And, because I'm the champion, and he's never been the NXT champion, and he never will be. And, yeah, and when I'm done with him, he better just find himself a chair, a nice table, and headset, and just go back to what he should be doing, and not bother me anymore. And then he just kind of walked off. It was great. He said, like, yeah, I pummeled him, and, you should really know better. Oh, Kevin Owens, you're magnificent.
He really is.
Okay, so now that I just, caught that up because that was kind of bothering me, what came after the Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks altercation?
Let's see here. We had our fourth match of the night. Rhyno squashing a local jobber with no story, no name even for the local jobber. It was just a squash match, and yeah, that was it. So if you want to move on.
Yeah, we can.
All right, we had a backstage segment. Now, I'm pretty sure this was the exact same segment that we saw last week. It was Carmella, Wesley Blake, and Buddy Murphy come up, and they're singing, and they walk away because Cass and Enzo walk in, and they're talking about the halitosis and how it smells, and Cass says about how a couple of regular Sinatras, and Enzo's just like, don't even mention them in the same breath as Sinatra, and he apologizes. Everything, I'm like 99.9% sure this was the exact same segment that they put last week.
Well, I mean, I think you mean a few weeks, because last week, if you remember, I think that was the flowers and that whole thing during their tag match. But I know what segment you're referencing, because that was a little while back. They presented her with some kind of necklace or bracelet, and they were like, where'd you get that, Jared? And, this pretty much was the same segment, but with little variations. I mean, for one thing, Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy sang in this. They tried to serenade.
I specifically remember them doing that before, though.
See, I don't remember them singing last time, so I don't know.
Well, then this might have been like an Instagram thing or something. This might have been on social media before tonight, and that's why I remember it so vividly, because this is literally, I've seen this before.
You know what? I'm not going to dispute that, especially if it's like a social media thing, or if you are thinking of the segment that I was referencing when I said, like, I understood where you were coming from saying you've seen this before. Because, I mean, this isn't the first time they've bribed her with jewelry, and Carmella.
No, but that's the thing, though. I literally remember Buddy Murphy singing and hitting that ridiculous high note and being like, well, at least he went for it. And then I specifically remember Enzo mentioning the halitosis and the Frank Sinatra reference. I remember this segment exactly as it was, not just something similar.
Yeah, you must have seen it like before I did somehow.
I had to have. I guess it wasn't last week. I guess it was like a social media thing then. It must have been something that got voted to the front page of Reddit, and I checked it out there. It's stupid that they would have something on social media and then show it on the actual TV show afterwards, though. That's just dumb to me.
Yeah, it is. Very, very peculiar as well. But, yeah, I mean, a harmless segment. It furthers the feud. I'm assuming that their tag title match, Enzo and Big Cass being the number one contenders, is going to take place at the next live special. But, I mean, this has been going on for a while now, and we still have a little ways to go before it, so I honestly would...
Whenever the live special is, that's when Carmella turns on them.
Oh, man, that heel turn, though.
It's going to be so good. Well, she already is a heel. She's just going to act more like it.
The jewelry was just too shiny. You never bought me jewelry. Oh, God.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But, hey, I love Blake and Murphy. However they get the job done, just do it. So, there you go.
Absolutely. All right, up next, we have our match, or our main event match of the night. Alex Riley, Kevin Owens, part 2.
Yeah, I mean, Alex Riley tried.
He tried really, really hard in this match. You got to give him that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he got some nice right hands in. He got a cool dropkick in. Like, he got offense.
He even hit a Moonlight Drive?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little miffed about that, but sure, why not bring that up?
I had to.
But then, like everything else in Riley's career, in fact, I found it really quite apropos, almost poetic, because he goes to the top rope, I mean, the highest point he could be, and then he just tumbles down and crumples in a heap, thanks to Kevin Owens just shaking the ropes, and then as he's regaining himself, Kevin Owens just obliterates him in the corner with a clothesline, and then he does the cannonball in the corner once, Alex Riley's seated there.
Which was a great freaking spot to me. I mean, I know he does it in every match, but I love the way he set it up here when Riley was getting ready to go for the blockbuster.
Right. And it wasn't long after that he hit the pop-up powerbomb, and he got the win. So,
and then, after he got the win, he wasn't done. He wanted to hit Alex Riley with that powerbomb onto the digital kind of sideboard on the ring, and hit him on the hardest part of the ring, the corner of the ring there. But he was for the second time now. He went for it in Columbus at the Arnold Classic, and now he's going for it here again. And the first time it was Finn Balor. This time
it was Sami Zayn, who I booed for the first time, preventing this assault. But,
my God, John, Jesus!
But Sammy's still wonderful, so we're cool. But
you know, an action is powerful when it can make John boo Sami Zayn. That is how badly he wanted to see Riley get power bombed onto that.
Oh man, the only way I would have legitimately stayed mad at Sami Zayn is if we swapped Alex Riley for Zack Ryder, though. That just would have been, oh man, unforgivable. But yeah,
what are you gonna do if that ends up happening? If Zack Ryder randomly ends up on NXT in that Titus O'Neil Brodus Clay fashion, and he ends up going against Kevin Owens and gets absolutely destroyed, and then Owens goes for the powerbomb to the corner of the ring apron, and Sami Zayn saves him?
I will be convinced that the universe hates me. But that said, Sami Zayn really takes the fight to Kevin Owens here. I loved how this was done, because you have Sami Zayn, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, say that, my game plan, kick Kevin Owens' ass. Week after, beats Rhyno. Great, we're no longer doing that comes close only to have it ripped away from him kind of shit. Then after that, takes the fight to Kevin Owens. I think Sami Zayn has really been booked perfectly for me since he's come back and gotten his stuff together after, losing his NXT championship. And, the roster comes out to try and, separate the two guys. They get a hold of Kevin Owens, but then Sami Zayn goes in the ring. He goes to the top rope, and unlike Riley earlier, he successfully executes a maneuver, a nice senton over the rope onto everybody, taking everybody out. And Kevin Owens, to his credit, sells the whole beatdown perfectly, because he is literally like doing a crab walk, like up the stage, trying to regain his footing, and then he gets up and he gets on the stage just to get away from Sami Zayn, and how he emotes in the face like, wow, I cannot believe I just had the fight taken to me by a guy whose livelihood I almost ended. Really well done closing segment here.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the way Owens sold this whole thing. I mean, he got up to the top of the ramp, and it looked almost like he was going to come back down and kind of try and get a second taste and try and maybe get the upper hand against Sami Zayn, because he was kind of like pointing at him and walking towards him, but then he just kind of turned to the side and grabbed his title away from a ref that was nearby.
Right.
And then he walked away, so it was just a tease the whole time.
It was awesome. It was superbly executed, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you, their rematch at the next live special, it's going to be something.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited. Yeah, they've built this up so well. And can I ask you another question? Kind of offhand.
Sure.
Yeah, kind of like I did earlier with Becky and Sasha. Do you think their rematch should have a stipulation to it? Like a no DQ or something like that? Since, it's really getting heated now.
Loser leaves NXT.
Wow, so this would be your plan, I guess, to get Sami Zayn to the main roster?
Exactly.
Beautiful. I love it. Freaking love that. I didn't even think about that.
It works out so freaking perfectly too, because Kevin Owens it's like they can't exist in the same platform together for as long as they have. Like they can, this town's not big enough for the two of us, as the Old West would say. Yeah, like it's just perfect that if they go there. And it might not necessarily be the next one, but I think that definitely needs to be the end game of this feud.
And you know what, too? I could definitely see Regal putting a rubber stamp on that, because depending on how they handle the build, it could be where Regal, it's just out of his hands. And Regal's established himself as an authority figure that, while not heelish, he will not tolerate disorder. He loves order, he loves proper conduct, he loves pretty much organization. And knowing that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are just totally ruining that and sending NXT spiraling into bedlam.
Another option that I just thought of is if they want to kind of keep Sami Zayn around a little bit longer to kind of get him to like kind of put over somebody for the next generation, maybe like have him kind of help out like Hideo, or I don't know, somebody else that's on, maybe Baron Corbin, I don't know, someone like that. they could just do, if Sami Zayn loses, he can never challenge for the NXT Championship again as long as Kevin Owens holds the title.
I love both of your steps. They're so much better than the one I was thinking, because I was thinking, and yeah, it kind of sucks anyway because they're doing Extreme Rules. Like I think like a few days after that, it's kind of like that kind of schedule. I was thinking maybe a last man standing match, because I mean he did send Sammy on a stretcher and everything, and I just feel like it would kind of be appropriate. But I love your steps so much better because I feel like it has.
Well, even if you want to go down that road, wouldn't a stretcher match make more sense?
Yeah, a stretcher match or a last man standing
or an ambulance match.
Like that. Yeah, like I'd say a stretcher match, because I've seen those with like really brutal competitors. Like I know Orton's had some stretcher matches when he was like punning everybody. He had that one against RVD that was well done. So
I don't know. I think that the one thing that I do want to say though is that the NXT has done a really good job of protecting stipulations.
Right.
Like they rarely introduce new stipulations. Like the first ladder match they ever had was such a big deal, and it was Adrian Neville versus Bo Dallas, and it was built up as this big thing and all that kind of stuff. And then the first Fatal 4-Way, and like they've had all these firsts at live specials. I just feel like that style, like the Last Man Standing or like the ambulance match or any of that kind of stuff, it's like later down the line. Like I feel like we need to have a steel cage match in NXT before we get that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree. I think that's a fair assessment of the situation. But you know what? I think though, when we do get to that point, your earlier point about protecting stipulations, it's going to make it glorious. It's going to make it absolutely amazing because they're going to do it right. And I just, these guys, we've said it before. So many fans have said it before. They're destined to do this till the end of time. So we'll get our chance to get pretty much every match out of these two. I wouldn't be surprised to see how much stuff between these two down the road.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I wonder, like, if Sami Zayn debuts sometime this summer, I wonder if they're going to have Owens debut in December and just tear him a new one on the main roster.
Dude, it's a circle. It's a beautiful, violent, bloody, chaotic circle. You know? They'll
that
do
seems
it again.
like perfect timing, too, because, like, Owens could lose his title in, like, September at what would be like the 1 year later equivalent of NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way, and then have maybe like a rematch for the title at our Evolution, or the 1 year later version of our Evolution. I don't know what they're going to call it. And then debut on the main roster like the Monday after and take Sami Zayn out.
Yeah. I mean, dude, we can't even, because I just get way too excited. We can't even talk about the prospect of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens both being on the main roster, because I know some of our boys on Tweetov, what they're looking for from Kevin Owens on the main roster. Sami Zayn feud, yes. They want to see him face Brock Lesnar, though. That's the big thing.
God, that would be glorious.
That's the big freaking thing people want from Kevin Owens. And let's not forget, too, I mean, speaking of NXT and the title picture and everything, I mean, Samoa Joe's still a thing that I'm hearing.
Oh, that's right. He's going to happen.
Oh, my God, dude. And yet, I mean, to bring it all full circle, this feud, no matter how you handle it, I mean, just the idea that we've gone this far, like you with the stipulations about the NXT title, or, who shares space on the brand, and me just going the ultra-violent route with Last Man Standing, and then you putting in, like, stretchers and ambulances, just, creatively that fits better, just shows you how much this feud has worked. Because these guys, we know their history in ROH, but they've done such a great job establishing an independent history here that, we're just coming up with all these possibilities and these conjectures, and it's awesome. I can't wait to see it all unfold. And, I mean, I remember a while back that I confidently said, I'm sure if they'll have a rematch, they'll make the story where, Sami Zayn gains it back. But Kevin Owens really is like NXT's Brock Lesnar. I don't even know who can stop Kevin Owens at this point. But Sami Zayn, after tonight's segment, look, he did a damn good job of proving he might just be the one to do it when he's got his head on straight. So we'll see.
Absolutely.
All right, well, with that said, let's move on to our next segment, High Spots and Low Shots. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to say that my low shot is Charlotte. Because...
Charlotte.
God, I hate him so much.
Jason Alberts wasn't even on commentary tonight. It was literally just Rich Brennan and Corey Graves. I actually really enjoyed it.
Corey Graves is magnificent.
He really is. His hate.
Did you see he has a new show? Apparently it's on the network, Culture Shock. I know it was airing like after NXT.
You're going to check that out.
Yeah, you're going to have to check that out. And,
I said we're going to have to check that out. Have you seen it already?
No, I haven't.
Well, then we're going to have to check that out.
Fair enough.
But regardless, what I was actually getting ready to say is I love the one line he had about Becky Lynch. He said that people asked her on Twitter why she didn't like, or why he didn't like her. And she responded, he's a hipster. And he said, I'm a hipster? I almost spilled my craft beer reading that.
Oh, Corey. But yeah, Charlotte is my low shot. I mean, for all intents and purposes, she had that match won dead to rights. And Becky Lynch, again, just slinks in, drapes the arm over, and gets the 3 count. So she really backpedals off of Charlotte's hard work, and she benefits, out the back door. And now she's going to face Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship, a match that, for all intents and purposes, should have belonged to Charlotte. I guess she didn't do it with enough flair. So.
Oh, jeez.
Dissed!
Wow.
All right, who's your low shot?
My low shot is, sadly, too easy. Ty Dillinger.
It sounded like it pained you to say that. Are you all right?
I just love him so much.
I know, dude. I know. He'll do better things. Although I'll admit I was slightly amused by the Jason Jordan chants that broke out tonight during his match. Oh man, but Ty Dillinger, he'll put it together and he'll show everybody. He will. He'll be another one of those NXT prospects like Bo Dallas and CJ Parker, and he's not even that bad to begin with. So
But John, he was the crown jewel of the new Superstar Initiative.
I know. I can't believe that Gavin Spears and Ty Dillinger were one and the same. Those promos. Oh man, some things never change.
Oh please, you laugh like they weren't amazing.
They were amazing, but he was a jobber then and he's a jobber now.
Why can't he get out of jobber status?
I don't know. Oh, petition harder for him to get pushed.
He's so good and he's so charismatic, and the WWE's just like, charisma? What charisma?
You know what I love about you, though? I mean this in all sincerity. Like, this is not me trying to be a jackass, even though I know that's hard. I love that he's kind of like, not saying that he's the same, like, talent-wise or anything, but he's kind of like the new Corey Graves, I guess, because you were always a staunch...
Yeah, he kind of is!
While everybody else hated him,
yeah.
And it's not even that everybody hates Ty Dillinger, it's just that, like...
No one talks about how good he is, except me.
No one talks about how good he is, yeah. You're coming up on the pulpit every week and just saying that, no! He deserves better, damn it! Still real to me, damn it.
Maybe in a few months he'll win a trios championship with a masked guy and a female.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, God. That show tonight. But I gotta say...
Seriously, though, Ty Dillinger is like my Angelico for NXT.
Oh, man. If only he had as much as the good fortune as Angelico has had recently.
I know, right?
But, my...
Crown jewel, John.
My high spot...
You just no-sold that.
Yeah, I dude, what else can you say, man? I mean, I hope it works out for him, but I mean, it's out of our hands.
All right. Who's your high spot?
My high spot, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna say, you know what? It's Tyler Breeze.
Oh.
Here's a guy that, didn't get his hands dirty tonight, but he kind of, planted a seed of foreboding, of warning to Finn Balor. He's feeling confident. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he's always had a chip on his shoulder, but this one seems legitimate because he's been on a little bit of a roll lately. And now we know he's set to take on Finn Balor. And I'm telling you, if he can get the win here, he'll certainly lock in number 1 contendership status for that NXT championship. So way to go, Tyler Breeze, for bringing the fight to other contenders, weeding out those claimants.
Way to go, Tyler Breeze.
Oh, yeah. So who's your high spot?
Becky Lynch.
Oh, yes.
Because she used her smarts to win a championship, and she used her mouth to win everyone over in the back room.
Oh, man.
I'm waiting for someone to be like Archer phrasing. No, but seriously, though, she did cut a really good promo tonight.
Definitely. I really like that choice, dude. That's great. I love how I have a female for a low shot, and yet you have Becky Lynch for your high spot, so it all kind of really works out.
And we both had females for our high spot or low shot on Lucha Underground as well.
That's so true. Yeah, look at us. Yeah. TWitWoW, the most feminist pro wrestling podcast on the web.
I will totally take that label and run with it, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, totally. But, I mean, yeah, Becky Lynch owned it tonight. And really, here's the thing, and I don't mean this, like, insultingly, but her gimmick has always been, like, the high energy, this and that. You don't really make the connection, like, oh, she's cerebral. I love that she used her intellect and she was an opportunist to get the win.
She's 2006 Edge and Lita's love child.
Yeah, oh my god, that line was legendary. I shouldn't have even laughed as hard as I did, but damn. Damn, that's so perfect. But no, cause to me, here's the thing, and it's not even Sasha Banks worship. Okay, it might be a little bit, but
Just a little bit.
Sasha Banks is a very legitimate champion, and I feel like
the least.
Exactly, to say the least. You could say a lot more about it. You could write books about it, but yeah, it's just going to be very hard to top. Wait, what was that?
Full-on novels.
Oh yeah, full-on novels. That's going to be very hard to topple and take that championship from her. But by Becky Lynch winning the match in this manner, at least to me, and maybe I'm overselling it. I've done it before. You're used to it. It shows that she's dangerous. It shows that I can outsmart anybody in a given situation that I know is beneficial and advantageous to me.
Such an opportunist.
Indeed. And
like
Sasha,
her daddy.
Like her. Oh my god, again. I just went along with it. I'm like, oh wait, what? Oh my god. But yeah, it's not an advantage that exclusively belongs to Sasha Banks anymore, because she was kind of opportunistic the way she won the title. Transitioning her bank statement submission into a freaking pinning combination like a boss. See what I did there? Everybody see what I did there? It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's gonna be a great matchup.
Oh my god. I'm looking forward to getting back to the one-on-one format for NXT Women's Championship matches on live specials.
I think these are, a pair of nice women, to do it with. I mean, Becky Lynch is crazy talented, and Sasha Banks, again, Sasha freaking Banks. So,
Didn't Sasha have a one-on-one defense against Bayley at the last one, though?
No, the last one I think...
NXT TakeOver Rival?
No, didn't Sasha win it at Rival?
No, she won it at our Evolution.
Won it at our Evolution?
In the Fatal 4-Way with her, Becky, Charlotte.
Yeah. Well, then what happened? What happened? You know what? I don't even
feel like
remember.
It was just Sasha versus Charlotte or Sasha versus Bayley. It wasn't it? I don't remember.
No, you know what? You were right. The first, I think it was Charlotte. I guess it must. I don't even know.
I don't remember either.
Because honestly, the last defense I remember from Sasha Banks was Alexa Bliss on the one NXT taping. So yeah, and then I know she had a defense against Charlotte, but I don't know if that was on an episode of NXT or a live special. But regardless, I do see what you mean, and I feel like her and Becky Lynch are going to have a great matchup. So I'm excited.
Oh no, it was another Fatal 4-Way. Wait, what?
Wait, what? Oh, you're confusing me now. What?
I'm so confused.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
I thought she won the title at our Evolution.
No, I thought it was NXT TakeOver Rival.
Well, apparently you were correct on that, because I thought regardless, whatever.
The
point still stands. I'm looking forward to having another one-on-one match on a live special.
Completely agree with
for the women's title.
With that said, is there anything else you want to say about this episode of NXT?
For what it's worth, I did just have the last two specials reversed, because the one before TakeOver Rival was our Evolution, and that was just Sasha Banks versus Charlotte one-on-one for the title, and Charlotte retained.
Yeah. God,
I guess I intentionally blocked that out of my memory. I don't know.
Hey, Sasha got hers in the end. We won this in the end, Ashton. Remember that.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
I'll just keep telling myself that in 5 months when Dean Ambrose is on top of the world.
I know. Hey, dude, try being me over here. Oh, yeah, ML will totally be a Divas champion by Survivor Series. Oh, my God.
I forget, was that 2013 or 2014?
It doesn't even matter anymore. It didn't happen.
I think it was 2014, but regardless, yeah, that was a stretch.
Yeah, I mean...
Surprised you didn't pull any muscles with that stretch.
Well, yeah. Thanks for that. But so with that, you don't have any closing remarks then?
No, we don't have any Raw requests or 30-second hot seat on this show, so we can just close her out.
All right, guys. Well, with a barrel of laughs and a great review behind us, I can say that this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. what did you think of this week's NXT? What did you think about Becky Lynch emerging as number one contender? How are you liking the build to the NXT Tag Team Championship match between Team Dubstep Cowboys and Enzo and Big Cass? Be sure to take the conversation over to TWitWoW. An amazing pro wrestling group, some of the most passionate wrestling fans you'll ever meet. And you can also take the discussion over to our TWitWoW subreddit that Ashton created to talk to either him or I about all things pro wrestling. And we will see you again for, and I am quite excited for this, Extreme Rules 2015 preview and predictions. And then after that is going to be Extreme Rules live reactions. It's going to be a really fun weekend, guys. You're not going to want to miss it. I know you won't miss it. And until then, tune in and peace out.